Being a woman is anything you want it to be. There's a spectrum, and maybe you can think of on one end of it a man and on the other end a woman. And some people fall on one end and some people fall on the other. Many of us are in the middle, and I include myself in that. I've recently come out saying my pronouns are she, they, and I feel like that's the most comfortable I've ever been. I think that there are attributes of my personality that are more womanly. Obviously, I've had children, I've given birth, I've breastfed, but some men can do that too. So it's not an exclusive to woman attribute, and there really isn't anything that is. So it just depends on what you define it as. It depends on how you feel, and it depends on how your culture feels and what you embrace. Okay, so women who work in STEM, I really haven't known personally in my career very many women in chemistry or physics. I have the pleasure of knowing Ann Weiss here at Victor Valley College. She's in math. Also, I know Trinity Mecklenburg, not as well, but I do know she works in math. And then there are many women who work in the biology department here. Christy Howard. Are there many? Actually, I'm not sure, but full-time I know Christy Howard and Lisa Harvey. So I wish there were more women in STEM. When Jamie Cooper came and started teaching in geology, it was the best. But sometimes when I'm, in my department, I am kind of categorized as the one woman, and yeah, that's okay. There are plenty of women in history, in science. Marie Curie, for example, was a famous chemist and physicist. She's the only person who's won the Nobel Prize in both chemistry and physics. And there are a couple of other women who've won multiple times in chemistry and physics. And I'm not sure about biology, but I'm guessing it's highly likely. There are many women throughout history who have inspired my career in science, but I tend to be more inspired by the people that I meet on a daily basis, and those are my students. And there have been many students come through Victor Valley College in my chemistry classes who I classify as inspiring women. And I think we get to talk a little bit more about that in the next question. So for influential women in my life, I am gonna say my 17-year-old daughter. She has a lot of power. She has a lot of drive. She has a lot of character, and she's one of my daughters who's living at home with me still. So, she persuades me to get her a donut or to bring her some treat or something, and so that influences my life a lot in a good way. There are more seriously, though, some pretty strong women in my history. My grandmother, my mother's mother, was born into a small, very poor family. Their home was built from rocks that her father had just piled up. It was a dirt floor, and there were, I think, like 10 children in that family that lived in that little, small, tiny, I don't even know if you can call it a house. And my grandmother worked hard all her life. She didn't finish high school. She didn't even go to high school. She never learned to drive, but she was a force to be reckoned with, and she definitely inspired me every day. She would get up at sunrise. She would support her family. She would do the things that she found valuable, and because of that, her family, her daughters, they finished high school. She had one or two daughters who did finish college. My mom was able to finish high school. She did go to college, but she inspires me and influences me because of the hard work that she did. And I'm deeply connected to the students here at Victor Valley College because of that. Because many of the students who are here are first generation students like I was, and they are forging a path for themselves into sort of unknown territory, and I am influenced by that and inspired by that. I can name some students. Alicia Holden was a Black student that I had who was also deaf. And she went through Victor Valley College with very little accommodation. She actually became a tutor for me, and then she went on to Cal State Northridge. I had a woman, her first name was Vicky, and I'm not remembering her last name, but she was 67 years old, and she was going back to school for her associate's degree, and then was going to go into nursing. I have students, Leslie, she was a Dreamer student. She's undocumented. She got her degree in aeronautical engineering, and I think it was difficult for her to find a job because she was undocumented, but incredibly bright student who faced some really difficult challenges, and I really connect with that. I think our students at Victor Valley College are just amazing. You know, people are working so hard to get their degrees, but also to support their families, to take care of their siblings. People are working nights and coming to school in the daytime, and many of them women, many of them single moms, many of them moms who have to, you know, sometimes leave early to take care of their sick children. And that is an amazing job, but also at the same time an incredibly challenging job. So yeah, that's what keeps me going, just knowing that I'm surrounded by amazing people, many of them women, who are working really hard, and it makes me keep working hard, and it makes me love what I do.